Pondercast is powered by listeners. Consider making a small monthly donation and support this independent podcast. You can go to patreon.com/pondercast. Thanks for helping us grow this thing together. Let's go for a drive. I don't know where. Let's just take a drive. Get far enough away from the city where we can see the entire thing in one view. 'Cause the house is too claustrophobic tonight, and the night is too perfect. How many of these warm, still nights have we got left this year? So let's just drive and pondercast. I love getting far enough away from the city that you can see the whole downtown in one eyeful. You know, it looks just like a photograph used by tourist boards to entice people to visit. Suddenly, your city appears glamorous, romantic, cosmopolitan, exciting. Back far enough away, and it looks like Oz. Towers of twinkling lights, those ribbons of traffic, taillights and headlights glowing red or white, snaking through the core. And you think to yourself, I live in the middle of that. I know my way around this labyrinth of stone and mirror and light. This is my home. I never really think of myself as a big city person until I'm driving on a night like this and I see it spread out before me like Atlantis. Gone are the daylight sightings of potholes and broken sidewalks, the run-down houses with weeds and windows where the curtains are never pulled back, that local vacuum store with vacuum models in the window from 1972, a window display that has never been dusted or presumably vacuumed. All that's gone. From the car, you can't smell the diesel buses and you can't hear the constant sound of them accelerating away from your bus stop in front of your place. The real city, the daytime one, the one you navigate on foot, is gone. Out here in the car on the expressway, it has been replaced with its movie star version, all rich and successful, full of money and promise. Imagine all the meals served in all the restaurants, all the drinks being poured in all the bars, all the cash registers ringing up sales. And imagine all the music that everyone is listening to all at once, in earbuds, in bars, in symphony halls, in the shower, on the turntable, in malls and elevators. Imagine being able to pick up that sound all at once and have it come through your car radio. Driving at night, no destination. It really helps when you feel stuck. The need to feel at least some kind of movement in your life. The excuses that got you out of the door into the car, need milk, need bread, whatever. Maybe you just need to be alone for a bit, just to hear yourself think. How is it that we think more clearly when we're driving? I mean, supposedly this is an activity that should take every bit of our attention, and yet somehow it creates these big open spaces for thoughts and feelings and ideas. Where does your head go as you drive? To the past? Long ago? A memory surfaces. Why now? Why that? You turn it over in your mind, adding details. How old were you? Who else was there? What would you be wearing? When I'm driving, I have memories of driving. I'm in the car with my parents, and I am so little that in the back seat of the Ford Falcon, I cannot see out the windows. My view is of the back of my dad's seat in front of me, and of the floor and the door, the pull handle that I was warned never ever to touch, and the crank for the window, the ribbed vinyl on the door panel, and the rubber floor mat. I would slip off the seat and lie down on the floor on my side of the car, pressing my ear to the hump in the middle of the floor to hear the sounds of the car thrumming along, the sound of wind, the sound of the road, as I tried to picture the asphalt flying by, mere inches from my ear, as I lay in my little cocoon in the floor of the car. And now, for you driving enthusiasts, a little car porn. You are driving a very rare early Mustang convertible with D-Code high-performance engine options providing 289 cubic inches of V8 power through an oh-so-hard-to-find 4-speed manual transmission. With factory-appointed Ford air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, and power folding top. This early 1964.5 Ford Mustang convertible is finished code-correct Wimbledon white, over a red vinyl interior. This baby has had a complete engine rebuild, all new body and engine wiring harnesses, new radiator, new water pump, fan clutch, hoses and clamps, rebuild generator, rear main seal, oil pump, and fresh gaskets from the carburetor to the oil pan. Let's talk about the engine, shall we? On your 1964.5 Mustang convertible. Under the hood is a D-code 289 cubic inch V8 rated at 210 horsepower, still fitted with its original Ford 4-barrel carburetor with dual resonated exhaust system. Options include a 4-speed manual transmission, factory air conditioning, fully retrofitted to R13 4A refrigerant, power steering, power brakes, power convertible top, remote driver's mirror, original Ford AM radio, rally pack column gauges, interior day-night mirror, reverse lights, windshield washer, front seat belts, and deluxe rear wheel hubcaps fitted with radial white wall tires. This car has everything you want. Dual big horns, ventilated core support, feeding extra air to the battery tray, generator charging system, and factory date stamped fender and component sheet metal all clearly visible. It also comes with an owner's manual, convertible boot cover, matching spare tire, jack, and of course, a lug wrench. What else could you possibly want? Listen to this engine. Road trips. 2 people in the car, long trip. There are silences that will be found on this car trip. There are good silences in a car and bad ones. The good silence, it just happens naturally, right? Conversation slowly fades away with longer stretches of silence in between words, and then you realize that actually half the conversation is only happening inside your head. And every once in a while you speak up and the other person says, What are you talking about? Ah, and you bring them up to speed and they respond. And then you both fall back into a driving reverie, content just to let the thoughts come and go. And then there's the bad silence. The shutting down of conversation, your mind racing through silence and tight lips. You know that tension. Maybe you reach for the radio, pick up your phone, or maybe you don't. Or maybe you reach for the friggin' door handle, actually thinking, can I roll out on the gravel right here and live? Anything to get you out of the car and the conversation that might happen next? How long before someone says something? Before you have the nerve to say what needs to be said? A minute? A week? A year? Can't roll out of the car? So what next? In the next breath, things could fall apart. Which might be okay, because in cars, once they fall apart, they can be remade. It all depends on what happens next. Take a breath, look forward at the road, and say what it is you have to say. The city is behind us. The regular, reassuring streetlights start to disappear. There are longer and longer stretches of dark in between streetlights. Beyond the suburbs, heading into farming country now, dark fields and farmhouses close to the road now. Close enough to be able to see into those living rooms, that blue flickering light on the ceiling, the extra bright ceiling light on in the kitchen, the light outside between the house and the barn. Look quick, and it's gone. Who are those people in there? What kind of night are they having? What's the prevailing mood in the house? What's the prevailing mood in the car tonight, in your tin can of emotion? There are night drives made in desperation, trying to outrun ourselves and our situations. There are night drives made for looking for peace and quiet and finding it in the car. Night drives looking for adventure and trouble, heading somewhere we want to go, or driving into something that is not going to be fun. But out here, in the middle, in that liminal space between here and there, you are free, untethered, blissfully unreachable. Your only responsibility is to keep the car between the ditches. Just drive, just drive, just drive. Drive like you are asleep. Drive like you're dreaming. Crazy? Try it. You are dreaming that you are driving. The windshield all of a sudden starts to feel like a movie screen. You're watching a movie and you don't know what's going to happen next. You are driving like you are seeing everything for the very first time. You can see just beyond the road on either side. There's hanging flower baskets by the corner store, and you see that old woman with a wheelie cart staring down the road, willing the bus to come. Your hearing becomes sharper in the dream. You turn the radio off and roll down the window and catch the sound of an approaching ambulance far away. You make eye contact with the drivers coming towards you, wondering, what are they going to do next? It's all a dream. It's also great defensive driving. Living life like a dream, you see the world in a more accurate way. Normally, with your conscious day brain compartmentalizing all experiences into tidy little packets, you can shove whole scenarios into existing file folders. You take chunks of your present experience and push them, unexamined and unprocessed, into a bin marked, oh, been there, done that. Like those drives home from work when you completely blank on whole stretches of time because your mind offloads the present on that drive you've made 1,000 times, leaving your brain free space to daydream. You arrive home and think, oh my God, I can't even remember driving the last 10 minutes. That's not good. This is where I'd like to pull a Woody Allen and get Eckhart Tolle right from behind a pillar right here to explain the importance of being in the now. Because the now is all we got, folks. And not being in the now when you're driving has its repercussions. 62% of accidents happen while you're daydreaming. What do you do about that? Keep your eyes moving, like you're in a dream. Change your gaze every 2 seconds. Stare at something any time longer than 2 seconds. That induces your mind to wander, and it narrows your peripheral vision. Imagine what-if scenarios. What if that oncoming car crosses over the line? What if that truck ahead suddenly stops? All those what-ifs feed your subconscious brain with valuable data to keep you on track and aware. But the best suggestion for not daydreaming while you're driving is to eat something. Eat something, preferably something that's really crunchy. If you want to become more alert behind the wheel, you gotta want to. Let's drive like this is all a fascinating dream where anything could happen next. Why do we love driving so much? Maybe you love cars. But you know what? I think there are probably way more of us who don't care at all about the car that we're in. We just really love the idea of a long drive. Getting behind the wheel and heading out on the road reminds us that we're alive. Driving forces you to wake up and pay attention to what's happening now, I guess, in a way that maybe we rarely do at other times. Or maybe it's a control thing. You know, when we get behind the wheel, finally, I'm in charge. I'm in charge of my destiny as I head out to buy milk at 10 p.m. But mostly it's escape. Getting into your car at night removes you from your normal life, kind of sends you into a liminal world of your own definition. A world of fewer distractions and interruptions, where you can hear yourself think. Life inside the car seems simpler, and at night, on the road, it gets filled with possibility. Possibility is good. We love possibility. Oh, the places you will go. Have a great night and have a great day. I'm Lori Brown.